What's up, people? How you doing? Thanks for joining me today. This is Ronnie Q, and I just was coming to you today because I just wanted to discuss a couple of things. So let me go through and see who's here with me today. I appreciate you all for coming out. Sweet and low, hello, Cheryl Burnett. What's going on? Latasha Phillips. Hey, how you doing? Okay. Um, Big Set, how you doing? Okay. Petey Pete, what's going on? Liz, how you doing? Your hair is processing. What you getting color? I'm pretty sure you're not getting a perm because you'll be kind of nervous trying to relax. So you must be coloring. Doreen, truly blessed. How you doing? Babs, how you doing? Excuse the dog if you hear the dog growling because every time he hears another dog near, it doesn't even have to be a dog. If ever he hears something going on outside, he's gonna run outside because it's that time of year when he has in and out privileges to go in and outside. So he's just psyched up and happy to be able to run back and forth inside and outside. So I hope everything is going well with you guys. The weather is has finally gotten just nice, for a full week without the back and forth and rain and this and that. So I am ready for summer. I hope you guys are as well. So, um, what's new in the YouTube streets? I saw Demetra's presentation on yesterday, and I really need to get some editing skills up. I really love her editing skills. It was like information that I was familiar with, things that I had already seen, but I, she did her presentation, and you know, it was like it was a good presentation, but it was information that all the information I had already seen before. But she had to get hers off because she felt that a type of way about what was asked about her kids and grandkids information. So got to let it do what it do. So um and I heard that Jay Wilson went live today. Did anybody go over to Jay Wilson's and see what Jay Wilson enjoy life? Welcome. How you doing? Cleaning and listening. Same dipshit in my building has been putting dental floss down the toilet and backed up the sewer line. Oh my god, that's crazy. Um. Okay, I'm gonna have to let you go. I don't like your name. You can come back under another name, but I'm not even in the mood for dumb shit. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about, I was watching a news story, and yes, girl, cool mornings and nice afternoons. Yes, and like when it get into the afternoon, it's just like it's not like hot, but it's just bearable, and you're glad to see the sun out, and you can do some things. You can like move around. It's like is I'm so glad that the drought maybe seems to be over, but I'm so glad that we got some moisture, put it that way. Because I remember when I was younger growing up in California, and a lot of people think about California recently in the recent times that California is really a drought stricken state. But when I remember going to school and having to always take an umbrella. It used to have a distinct rainy season in California where you always had to have an umbrella. You was always going to and from school during school. You were it was always raining. You get home from school, your pants are wet up until your mid shin or something because it was always wet during this season. And as I got older, like the raining season got shorter and shorter and shorter until it California got into a 10-year drought. So a lot of people may not realize that California had a distinct rainy season, and it's like weird that the weather patterns have changed till like a whole season disappears to the detriment of the state, and then all these fires and all these fires and mountain fires and all this stuff has wreaked havoc on a lot of people's lives and stuff. And even when you have those fires, uh, you know, it strips all the roots from the mountains, and then after they put the fire out, there's no vegetation on the mountains. And then if it does rain lightly or moderately, then all the mud is going to come sliding down, and that's mudslide time. People who live at the foothills of the mountains have to worry about mudslide. So yeah, it's just like a real vicious pattern. I remember one time, it was a fire in the mountains above our home, and it was like raining big ashes, and you could see the fire right there at the mountains, and it just raining big ashes, like snowing ashes. Everything, all the cars and the sidewalks and everything was just covered with ash. So that is a real scary thing, for you to look at a mountain. And the mountains were really close where I lived, and you to look at the mountain and all you see is fire. That shit is really really scary. So yeah, that's my California story. So what else are we talking about? Hey, Uncle Claude. Okay, you guys are just speaking to each other. Yes, we did. You remember the raining season as well. Okay, so I was watching Hey Dracaris, how you doing, girl? If you want to come up, anybody want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up and chit chat with me. I just want to chit chat today. I don't have, well, I do have something that I was watching on the news, but if you don't want to talk about what I was talking about on the news, I am not up on much that has gone on the YouTube streets. Uh, Other than I saw Demetrius live yesterday. Hold on, let me get my echo off. Hey Voodoo, what's going on? Okay, I'm a paste the link. So if you guys want to come up and discuss anything that yeah, mountains and canyons. If you guys want to come up and talk about anything, you're more than welcome to hit the link. Girl, I remember one time, it was like coyotes all over the place. Coyotes all the time, all over the place, uh in the city where I'm from. So I remember one time I had two different dogs then. I had a Shih Tzu and a Lhasa Apso. And so the Lhasa Apso, I usually let them out right there in the side yard, for their early morning, because I know they're just gonna twinkle, and then I walk them for you know, their log dump. So the Lhasa Apso, he wanted to go further up the driveway. He wanted to go on the lawn closest to the street. So I just went halfway up the driveway, and then I see him. Then he just stands there and he, pees, but he had his back turned to the street. And then all of a sudden, I looked and I see something creeping up on him. And then I just screamed, and then the thing just disappeared, just took off. It took off so fast. It was a coyote that was creeping up on him. And my Lhasa Apso, that's not a small dog. I mean, it's a small dog, but in comparison to my other dog who weighed like 7 pounds, I was shocked that coyote was gonna try to come and snatch and try to get at my Lhasa Apso. How do you distinguish a coyote from a dog? Okay, so this is what you do. Hey, Jill's comfort zone. I was stationed in California many years ago, 88 through 92, while in the Marines, Palms, and Camp Pendleton. Oh, okay. I've definitely heard of those places. Yes, coyotes galore, especially if you live near the mountains. Um, hey, Nessa A, you distinguish a coyote from a dog because of the way they walk. walk. Coyotes can kind of look like a dog, but the way they walk, they kind of like swing their feet like a gate. Like if you have a gate that's hinged at the top, or a door that's hinged at the top, and it kind of flaps back and forth. That's how a coyote's feet do when they walk. Their feet flaps back and forth, and that's exactly how you can, if you can see them from a distance. If you're not sure if it's a dog, you look down at their feet and then you see if their feet are flapping back and forth. I mean, so many people in our neighborhoods have lost dogs. It's one person, they put up a high fence, a 6 feet high fence is like usually what they recommend, but they put up a higher fence. Almost got in trouble with the city, and the coyote still jumped the yard. I think they had a 9 foot fence, and the coyote, well, they weren't really that smart because they put their trash cans up next to the gate instead of putting their trash cans inside. They had them outside. The coyote, of course, hopped on the trash can, hopped in the yard, and got the dog. So I go running really early, and I have to watch out for them. My new community in the OC. Yes, you really have to watch out for them. And you see, everybody who walks early in the morning, you have elderly people who walk early in the morning. They always walk with those big walking sticks or something like that. So, yeah, it's just like a regular thing that you have to like be on the lookout for. But coyotes usually don't attack people, but you know, you never know. And but people are usually walking their dogs. But this is the thing that fucking scared the daylights out of me. I didn't see it. I heard all about it. We have a big like a big main street. It's only 2 lanes, but it's like a main street, that goes all the way from the north to the south end of our little city. Not the only main street, but it's a main thoroughfare. Is what I'm saying. And since it starts at the top of the mountain and goes downhill, it's a fast moving street. But I heard one day they found not a bobcat, a mountain lion coming down this street. And I was like, what? And it was kids out going to catch the bus to go to school. And then they heard the mountain lion growl. And that's what brought their attention to this mountain lion walking down the street. And that was crazy. So we have mountain lions. We have, hey, Miss Toby, we have all those types of stuff. We don't have the snakes is not a see. I have a problem with snakes and things, but the mountain lions, a lot of people go hiking in the mountains all the time, all the time. It's like so many mountains, and they go hiking all the time. And I am not into that. Not one time have I been hiking in these mountains. I remember a guy who was riding a bike. A mountain lion attacked him and grabbed him by his helmet. He was able to escape by his bike helmet. Thank God he had a bike helmet on with few injuries. I mean, it is like serious wildlife out here. There have been sightings of bears, very few bears, but there have been some bear sightings. So it's interesting. Okay. The thing is, you can scare them yourself. You can scare coyotes because that little one scream that I gave to the coyote scared the shit out of that coyote. The thought, that they can attack dogs, but my baby is fenced in. Yeah, please, dogs, cats, whatever. Yes. I one time saw a coyote walking down the street with a dog in his mouth. It is like really scary for if you're a pet owner with a small pet. And all of my dogs have always been small, so you really, really have to be careful with your pets. So, but this is what. Let me see. Out where I am, much activity. Yes, it's much activity. That's why I'm talking about get the alerts. Hey NYW, how you doing? Okay, so this is I was watching the news the other day, and some things came across that really kind of I'm frustrated with. So that's why I put up this thing, Banana Republic of America, and it just kind of is disheartening. A lot of the things that are going on as far as our government, our judges, Supreme Court judges, and I pledge allegiance to the flags of the Banana Republic of America and to the Republicans who whitewash Donald Trump, one Juanita serving wealth, utterly corrupt Constitution, and justice be damned. Okay, so why did I put that up there? Because I was looking at quite a few stories about our Supreme Court, and a lot of people say they don't vote. Uh, it doesn't matter. Um, nothing's going to change, and well, things do change because the president. Well, your local elections are your most important elections, but those of you who don't vote in the presidential elections don't understand that the president is the one who chooses your Supreme Court justices. That is not a position that is voted into. That is the most powerful position in the land, as far as I'm concerned, because they can strike down laws and take us back to draconian times. They can uphold laws like fair labor practice, fair labor laws, or they can strike those laws down. So they have much to do about us and how we live our lives. And as we all know, that since President Obama marshaled in the Affordable Care Act, which gave medical insurance to so many millions of people. The Supreme Court struck struck down so many parts of the Affordable Care Act because, as you see, the yes people on here are Republicans, and the people who have no, these are Democrats. So the Supreme Court is way outweighed by Republicans. Hold on, I have somebody in the back. Let me um let me put up a banner. Hold on. Babs, that's you?
Yeah, this is me. What in the world are those legs?
Oh, I heard that somebody sent nudes, so
Oh
I
Lord.
just I just imagined that those nudes must look like that coming from this. But hey Babs, how you doing?
I'm good. You were speaking my language about the Supreme Court appointments and people not wanting to vote
Mm-hmm.
because I think they don't realize that not
Right.
only do presidents choose the Supreme Court justices, they choose the federal court
Federal.
judges and everything, and those are lifetime appointments.
And
Those outweigh
as
any presidential term.
yeah, all these like the federal justices and judges and the Supreme Court, these are lifetime appointments. So these,
Exactly.
go ahead, you finished. Go on and
No, no,
talk.
I was just agreeing. I was saying exactly.
Yeah, because the things that have been overturned, and I was talking about child labor laws. I'm sure that these may go to the Supreme Court, where they are rolling back child labor laws and allowing people as young as 14-year-olds to serve alcohol, to work in slaughterhouses and all these type of dangerous jobs in construction, work more hours, work up to 80 hours, 40 hours a week, work up until from 7 p.m. It used to be the latest they could work. Now they can work till 9 p.m. If you work in a 40-hour work week, you're a full-time
Right.
employee. Yeah, so a lot of these things that are going on is like really,
But you
really
know that's not even
bothersome.
really for they aren't even really doing that for our children. They're doing that because they want to have leeway to take advantage of undocumented immigrants.
Undocumented, but yeah, they want to take. So okay, so that's not for our children. So what does it say is for our children? It's like people argue that yeah, that's just to be able to manipulate the undocumented children. So that means that they're just going to be working 40-hour work weeks and they're not going to be going to school.
They don't care what happens with those kids. They
Exactly.
aren't even children to them.
Exactly. So they're just like modern day slaves,
Exactly.
because they're being paid what they're being paid by these corporations is nothing, absolutely nothing.
And the
Is
work conditions are abysmal.
exactly. So this is like the new turn on getting free labor to prop up corporations and to make the owners of these different corporations filthy rich and their shareholders filthy rich. And what type of product are we getting out of there? These kids are going to be disposable. They didn't even, okay, I'm not they didn't even uh they wanted them to up the workers comp liability for companies who hire these children, but for some reason that didn't find its way into a lot of these bills.
For
So
some reason, right?
for some reason, can't do that. So you have these young, immature people working in very dangerous conditions, and so when they get hurt, their recourse is going to be limited. And then what's going to happen? It's so easy to find another kid to take your place. It's so
Yep.
easy to manipulate you as a worker because you're not going to have a voice, because you don't even know what is a fair working, proper working condition is. Okay, you're not going to have a union to mandate that proper working conditions exist for you, because uh, you know people have made unions obsolete with all of this partisan
And they don't even
bickering.
realize it.
Exactly. And they don't even realize that, the same people who are talking about unions are no good because their union sends part of, you pay your union dues and the union contributes to a political candidate. I don't want my money going to that candidate. I don't want any of my money going to that candidate. But you want your break on time, but you want the union to go and make sure that you get a wage increase. You want the
And they
union
don't
to
realize
fight
that
for
those
you.
anti-union lobbyists who are feeding them those ideas are people who are benefiting from the lack of a union. You got to pay attention to
Exactly.
the source.
Exactly. So this is where we are in America. So it's crazy. We have gone backwards in so many
Yep.
ways
We
in
are literally
America.
time traveling in reverse.
Exactly. Okay, so let me see what the chat has to say about this. Cheap and young labor, exactly. Okay. And the sad part is so much worse in Mexico and Central America that they're coming over here to do these jobs. Exactly.
Right.
So, yes, exactly. So, yeah, we're in a bad condition. So we have the Supreme Court, who really, in my eyes, they're operating like a mafia. And
Especially
I
Uncle
was
Ruckus Thomas and his wife.
not only him and his wife. Okay, so not only him, because they put a, he is, but not only him.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely not only him.
we have the RICO Act. Let me remove this comment. So we have the RICO Act, which was established. It was passed in Congress in 1970, and the I can't even read my own thing. Okay, the RICO Act is Racketeering, Influence, and Corruption Organization Act. So what other organization is as corrupt as this powerful Supreme Court that we have, sitting on the bench, letting you know that, what laws they're going to keep on the books and what laws they're going to let fall off the book, like
Yep.
they gutted affirmative action.
Or and the
You
Voting Rights Act also. And
the
then
vote. Go
John
ahead.
Roberts had the audacity to say, well, if we didn't gut it, it's basically like we're doing hand holding for African Americans. I'm like,
Hmm.
are you serious?
Exactly. So, like we're doing, like African Americans have such a advantage over any other race. So, that's the whole point of the Civil Rights Act. So,
Yep.
they're telling you right in your face, and a lot of people don't know this type of stuff is happening. But the RICO Act is, if you get, it covers bribery, kidnapping, bribery, embezzlement, uh, drug trafficking, prostitution, and murder. So it's awful strange that they can find so many ways and so many charges to charge you as an United States citizen, as a tax-paying citizen who's getting no kickbacks, who's paying an exorbitant amount of your income into taxes. But when it comes to the rich and the well-connected, politically connected, they can't find any of these things. Okay, let's say you get off work, you go cash your paycheck. Say a lot of people, while a lot of people bank, there's a lot of people who don't bank. A lot of people go cash their paycheck and
Right.
may have their full amount of their paycheck on them. Let's say you go to the weed man's house, you want to get an ounce of weed for the week, and all he got is his shit is bagged up in $10 bags or something. So you have to buy 4, 5, 6 little $10 bags because he don't have them ounced up. That's the way they do to short you and shit. Well, I don't have a 50, but you can buy 5 $10 bags where you're getting shorted on your week. So you already got fucked first thing out. Oh, let's go. And then you get back in your car. You're on your way home. You get you some rolling papers, or you get you some rolling paper for your weed. You're on your way home. You get pulled over by a cop. Then the cop find your weed in the car. And let's say your fucking tags are expired and you was going to go get them fixed. You were waiting for payday. So you got expired tag, driving on expired tags. You got multiple bags of marijuana in your car. And you got a large amount of cash on you. So what many people have been faced with is being written up as a drug dealer, because
Right.
you have a large amount of cash on you. You have all these bags of weed, and they're packages to sell and all this type of stuff, and you'll find yourself in a world of fucking trouble, a world of motherfucking trouble, many charges. And meanwhile, you have the people on the Supreme Court doing some real dire things. What do you have to say about that?
It's disgusting to me. It's disgusting. In this current time frame, it's only going to get worse. It's
Mm-hmm.
only going to get worse
Yeah. Okay, so
because
let's
this
look at
current
what.
iteration of the Supreme Court, and say Republicans win in 2024, also, we
Mm-hmm.
we we basically just are doomed.
We're doomed. Exactly. So what are we talking about here about this Supreme Court? Let me tell you. Okay, there was a big story that came out on Clarence Thomas.
Yep,
Clarence
him and his
Thomas,
wife. That's what I was talking about.
yeah, and Jeannie Thomas, she works for many lobbying groups, groups who've had cases come before the Supreme Court. And see, the thing about judges, you're supposed to recuse yourself, which means take yourself off of judging anything on a case if there is an impropriety, or even the look of an impropriety. Is it?
Yeah,
No, I'm
but
saying
yeah, you're trying to say impropriety, but
impropriety. I was like, wait a
yeah,
minute, I'm saying that wrong.
but
Right, go ahead.
Clarence Thomas never had a moral, any sort of moral guidebook to make him want to recuse himself or anything. So I'm not surprised at all.
And these are cases that people have come to his wife's company to have influence over her. So he doesn't take himself off of these cases. He makes ruling on these cases in favor of the people who have come to his
And
wife.
now he's like, "Oh, I didn't know. What do you mean?
But
We were getting benefits,
you
huh?"
Like, my wife never talked to me about this case.
Hmm.
No, I never heard about this. We don't. She never talked to me about this. No, we already know that your wife told you exactly what to do about this case. And the thing about it is, I'm glad you caught me too. And the thing about it is that there's nothing being done about him ruling on these cases that his
Exactly. But what
wife
can
was
be done
paid
though?
money.
He's
Good.
in the Supreme Court. What are they gonna do to him?
But that's the motherfucking crux of the fucking problem,
Right.
because there's no There's no committee. There's no standards of in the Supreme Court. They're supposed to be respectable enough to just recuse themselves. No, there's no disciplinary board that they must go
I mean,
to. There's nothing for
if we
these
had a
Supreme
Congress
Court
that
members.
functioned, we could possibly get somebody removed. But Congress
Exactly.
does not function.
And Congress is so just they will vote along party lines no
Yep.
matter what it's about. They have because the thing about this new Congress is it's a bunch of idiots in there.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yes, and Lauren Boebert and a
Yep.
lot they're just idiots. They have no respect, no knowledge, no understanding of rules, laws, how they go into effect. They are just some sheep that are there to toe a line. They are not smart
It's
people.
like the people when Obama was president, you had the Tea Party people. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the Tea Party people on crack.
On yes, on crack. Yeah. Hey, C8. I'm glad you caught my live as well. So okay, so Clarence Thomas, what he has done, he has taken trips. He has been afforded all these trips by this one millionaire who is Clarence Thomas, who he has Clarence Thomas in his pocket. I was finna say that Clarence Thomas got the millionaire in his pocket,
Yeah.
but the millionaire has this coon in his pocket. So this millionaire Harlan Crow has sent Clarence Thomas on numerous trips. One trip totaling over $500,000 for the transportation alone. See, these Supreme Court justices are supposed to report these types of
Yep.
gifts and trips, everything except for the hotel accommodations. But the travel alone for this trip, not including the lodging, was over $500,000 worth of a gift to Clarence Thomas. He did not report it. He said that, oh, well, he didn't know he was supposed to report it. And then what happens? There's no governing body. There's no punishing body. There's no sanctions for him. But there are rules that say he must report this. So what good is a rule if there's no consequence if you don't do things? So
Exactly. Like
what
I'm not I don't have the most amount of faith in the government because who would? But I haven't
exactly?
ever seen a Supreme Court where anybody was as obviously corrupt as Clarence Thomas.
Just flagrant. Just
And nothing, there's literally nothing we can do about it.
but see, that's where they're going to continue to do this until
Can I say
they
something
are
real
made
quick?
not to do this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is an airhead, but she's a dangerous airhead because she has
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people who follow her particularly dangerous line of thought. So I agree with you, Jakaris, but she's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. She's very dangerous. Another thing that came out after this Clarence Thomas story came out is that this billionaire bought property from Clarence Thomas, and the justice didn't disclose that deal. This billionaire who you have in your pocket actually bought your home, but you never let them know that this billionaire that is in your pocket that has cases before the Supreme Court that you are actively ruling on and that you actually always judge in favor of for some strange reason. I don't know. Maybe you hear his case and you really, really think that the ruling should go in his favor. Or is it that you're getting all these gifts and perks and living this high ass lifestyle beyond what your earnings in the Supreme Court, which gives you a decent living? But no, you're living like a billionaire. So you always ruling in his favor. But what else is going on with this house? He bought this house from Clarence Thomas, and the thing about it is Clarence Thomas' mom still lives in the house that the billionaire bought. The billionaire bought the house from Clarence Thomas. He
Oh, I can't
refit
stand that man's face.
yeah, uh he um he refinished the whole house, and Clarence Thomas' mother is still living in the house, reportedly rent free. Okay,
I, I,
so
it's insane, right?
so Clarence Thomas is not recusing himself for any of these cases. So what is the Supreme Court doing for you? The Supreme Court seems to be like, now, how is that not money laundering? How is that not money laundering?
It's definitely looking like bribery, right?
How is that not bribery? Why isn't the RICO Act put into effect for Clarence Thomas? Embezzlement. I mean, that's you're still no. I got to figure out how you're stealing money, but definitely
At the very least, bribery.
robbery and money laundering,
Yeah.
because you sold a house, you had your mother living in there, but surely you should be paying rent at this refinished house that your mother is still staying there, that your billionaire friend purchased for you. So that's
Quote
definitely
unquote
money
purchase,
laundering
because why would he purchase it for Clarence Thomas' mother to
to
live
live
in?
in it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is what's going on with Clarence Thomas. So this adapted version of the story came out, you see, on April 13th. So also on April 13th, NPR, uh, uh, April 13th, NPR, no, this is not April 13th. NPR was the one who leaked a draft opinion suggesting that the Supreme Court would overturn Roe versus Wade. So Samuel Alito did a interview also on April 13th, the same day the amended version of Clarence Thomas' Mama Living in This House came out. So Samuel Alito had this to say about they leaked the Roe versus Wade decision, and it had us being under threat, under death threats and everything. And Justice Alito says this type of concentrated act on the court and on individual justices is new during my lifetime. Well, this type of corruption of justices is new in my lifetime,
Right.
Samuel. So fuck your life. Everybody's living here. It's not about your life, Samuel Alito, because the justices have not been so flagrantly being able to be bought in our faces like they have. Never in my lifetime has this happened. So he's worried about, oh, they leaked the Roe v. Wade decision and we got death threats. And I've never
What
seen
did
this
they
in my
think was going to happen
lifetime.
when the ruling came out?
Exactly. So sooner than later, get used to it. They perp you for what's gonna happen. Okay, and then he did an interview with the Wall Street Journal, and then he said we are being hammered daily. He's talking about even beyond that. We're being hammered daily, and I think it's quite unfair in a lot of instances. And practically nobody is defending us. What is there to defend you on? So you make these rulings about people and how they have to live their lives, and we know very damn well that you guys will do anything you want to. If you get your side chick knocked up, you're going to take her to a private doctor and get an abortion if that's what you want. So what are we supposed to do? We supposed to defend you? You're not defending us. I mean, you're not ruling on law. You're ruling on your alleged religion. Okay, and then he says
Or on
it
this disingenuous quote unquote constitutional literalism that people are saying that they're ruling based on, but they don't
and
always rule that way. They only
no,
rule that way when it lines in with their ideologies.
with their ideology, and it undermines confidence in the government. He says, this type of thing, if you don't defend the Supreme Court and they sit up here and make rulings that they know that the United States citizens are not for, and they make it under their, like you say, ideology anyway, we the people are supposed to defend you? Are you crazy?
We the
Is that
people, while you basically putting us back in the 1950s and before.
exactly? So let me see what
Could you
people were saying.
imagine? I'm about to hop off of here, but could you imagine this current Supreme Court with the president like Ron DeSantis?
Oh my god. Oh my
It's a
god. I mean,
possibility.
I
It's a
I
real
don't
possibility.
I you think DeSantis really has a viable choice
To me,
chance.
DeSantis has the most viable chance of the
I don't.
Republicans.
Uh, Other Republicans. I when you say that, okay, because I like, oh, he has no viable chance. He does not represent the American people, but he doesn't have to represent the American people. He has to represent
He
the
needs to
Republicans.
represent enough of the American people to get that vote.
Yes, he needs to represent the crazy Republicans that
And
are
you even have
all over the
people who
place.
are of color who are talking about they won't vote for Joe Biden because he hasn't gotten the student loan reform passed or whatever. And I'm like, y'all realize this is stuck in the Supreme Court? Like, do
Mhm.
you not know how government works?
Exactly, and it will be stuck there, and it's going to be set back to be judged on, while they say other things are more pressing than this. Hey,
Yeah, and they're
Grisella Love,
probably
how
going to
you
strike it
doing?
down.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I
So
have to get up off of here. It was nice speaking with you, Ronnie Q.
it was definitely nice speaking with you. The link is pinned if anybody else want to come up and have anything else to say about these topics.
All right.
What do you want us to do? I appreciate you coming up. Okay, so also now the next Supreme Court justice that I want to talk to you about is Neil Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch also had a piece of property that was purchased by a large law firm. The head of the law firm bought Gorsuch's property, but Neil Gorsuch will not disclose who this person is who purchased this property, because it's some billionaire over a billionaire over this law firm who's purchased his property, who also has many cases that come before the Supreme Court, but they will not disclose who this person is. So, did Neil Gorsuch house sell at or above market value? And why, if your house sold, why are you trying to hide who purchased your house? And if they have many cases coming before the Supreme Court, why hasn't Neil Gorsuch recused himself from any cases? Any cases as of yet. Okay, so we have Neil Gorsuch. That's number two. That's number three. We had Clarence Thomas. We had Samuel Alito. And then we have the Chief Justice, um, John Roberts. Chief Justice John Roberts. He's the head justice. So he has a wife, Jane Roberts, who made $10.3 million in commissions from elite law firms, and these elite law firms, what she does is she connect different lawyers to different law firms. And for her expertise, I don't know why she didn't have this expertise prior to him becoming Chief Justice, but she has such an expertise matching up lawyers to law firms now that she has made over $10.3 million in commission from elite law firms to match them up with attorneys. Okay, so maybe I ought to open up a motherfucking tip agency. Does Jay Wilson know about this tip agency? Because obviously they are doing stellar work so good that they paid this bitch $10.3 million in commissions. So that is how big government is just using up it, being used by these billionaires to get exactly what they want at the detriment of the American public. So that's one of the things that really, really bothers me. And see, you get caught on payday with a couple of bags of weed, and then they want to set you up on some RICO charges and shit, especially if your homegirl or homeboy is around, and they figure that you guys are working in some type of ring and shit. You got a ring going. All of a sudden, you came out of a house. You just came from visiting your mama house, and then you got a ring going. They got your mama all hooked up in the RICO Act, where this is a place that is known for drug activity, and you have all this money, you got a couple of bags of weed because your weed dealer didn't have the whole ounces, shit was bagged up in $10 baggies or $20 baggies. So they can figure out ways to do this to the American people. But all of a sudden, on these matters that I just put before you, they have no way of making these Supreme Court justices police themselves to recuse themselves from cases that they are deeply or financially involved in, even though they have rules of governing themselves. But they're ignoring the rules. So when this thing about Clarence Thomas's mother came out, the same day that he was doing his interview about nobody is protecting us, and it is a shame that they're treating us this way, and nobody is out here protecting us. And then the reporter asked him, well, what about the Clarence Thomas case where, this billionaire bought his house from him and his mother is still living in there after it was totally remodeled? I'm going to stay away from that. That's what he said. That's what he said. He wanted to, I'm going to stay away from that. No comment is what he said while he's crying that nobody's protecting him as they rescind our rights as American people. So this is what I wanted to talk about. So do you guys want to talk about that? Hey, Hub Scriptures, how are you? The people I vote for never win. I don't think they care about our votes. Yeah, they definitely don't care about our votes at all. And it's like really, really pathetic. And I'm getting really, really tired of it. So, in a lot of instances, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. They always, if you voice your opinion, if you say anything, uh, if you get upset, especially women, you're all of a sudden an angry black woman. So a lot of us purse ourselves while in at work or in other professional settings and stuff. We purse ourselves so we won't be seen as the angry black woman because we're trying to we don't want to be categorized in the way they're going to categorize us anyway. So in the street for a lot men and women, but mostly black men, you're automatically assumed to be a criminal. Let you be a law-abiding gun owner who has your registration, who has your gun permit on you, or in everything. They're not going to approach you like they approach a white man who is a law-abiding gun owner. They're going to approach you like you're a criminal, even when you have they walk up to you and say, look, I have a gun, I'm a registered owner. They're going to pull out their gun as soon as you say that, out their guns. Don't see your gun, but you're telling them that, hey, I want to let you know I'm a law-abiding gun owner. My gun is in the glove compartment. They're going to pull out their guns on you. They're going to order you out the car, and they're going to put you in handcuffs. But they're not going to do that to the white man. They don't do that in many cases to white men. So what are you going? You're trying to not appear like the angry black person. They're all members of the same so-called club. Unfortunately, whether so-called conservatives or so-called liberal. Exactly. Malcolm X warned us many years ago about the white liberal. I definitely agree because it's like, uh, hey, Renee, because the thing about it is, uh, when you stay my point is when you stay quiet, the status quo stays happy. They don't give a fuck how you feel. They don't give a fuck how it feels to have their fucking foot on your neck every day of your motherfucking life as long as you stay quiet. So we have become accustomed to not wanting to look like the angry black person that they say we are, to not look like the criminal that they say we are. While you had motherfuckers climbing on the Capitol walls, motherfuckers beating police officers with flag sticks, spraying police officers with bear spray, beating the fuck out of police officers, and they don't even want to call them insurrectionists. They fucking call the people on the state floor who were supporting in Nashville. They called those two state house members. They called them insurgentists. That's what they're trying to do. They called it, they in Colorado, I think it was Colorado, they had an LGBTQ person who they wouldn't even allow on the state floor when people came out to support her in protests in the state house. They called those people insurrectionists real quick. So what they want to do is they want to tell you that any type of public protest is an insurrection now, because they want to they want you to believe like, oh well, if you do this you're an insurrectionist, but they won't call the people who climbed the walls of Congress and who had a noose out there who was chanting hang Mike Pence, the vice president. They don't want to call that an insurrection. But what they want to do is normalize it and make you believe everything is an insurrection. So why are you looking at January 6th so badly when you have them going up all around you? So January 6th was par for the course. See, what is happening in America right now is a whole lot of real dangerous shit is happening in America right now. So I really don't have a lot of time for this beef bullshit. It's a lot of, and I really can't be talking about how dumb bitches who don't vote, who say it don't matter. I think that, and what my point is, at what point it, it seems like we're at a point where something's going to have to move in America. Being, trying to not appear to be what people say you are, or just not being what people say you are, an angry black person. Maybe it's time to get angry. See, because in a lot of instances, black people are like when the Amber Geiger situation happened. It just really boiled my blood when the mother asked could she hug her. It really boiled my fucking blood, because why are black people always so willing and so anxious to hop up and say they forgive and all this type of shit? See, when are we gonna be like, fuck forgiveness, I want what's right? When are we gonna be that way? See, because that's always the motherfucking reflex to go to. Well, I forgive because fuck forgiveness. Fuck forgiveness. I'm not saying being bitter, but where's forgiveness gotten us? Like, well, maybe we ought to try on this angry black persona that they say we are. Because this is getting us nowhere. This is getting us absolutely nowhere. So, anybody want to hit the link, you're more than welcome. The link is pinned at the top. You can talk me down. You can tell me that I'm wrong. You can give me I've been exercising my rights to vote since I was 18. I don't care what people say about voting, don't matter. I definitely have been voting since I have been able to vote as well. The definition of insanity is voting Democrat and Republicans over and over again, hoping different results. Okay, I understand exactly what you're saying, because there has been no different results. We have been getting the same thing with each freaking party. So if you want to hit the link, you're more than free to discuss that with me. I agree, George. It's insane to bounce back and forth between the parties, but how do we get another candidate who will have the money and exposure to go up against two big parties? That is a good question. I remember I was told it's because of the Bible. Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot to do. We have to do a lot of house cleaning before we can go after. Is that Wall Street or WS? White supremacists. Okay. The God of Most High wants an eye for an eye. Exactly, George. George, I feel what you're saying, George. George, can you hit the link, please? The link is pinned at the top. I focus on voting at the local level as well. Exactly. And many people do not focus voting on the local level, because that is a very important level. But I was just I was concentrating on this Supreme Court and all their shenanigans, and I just the people who don't vote in the national elections, they say it doesn't matter, but see, it does matter. You have an idiot in and out of office, but look at all the Supreme Court justices that he put in that are on the bench for life, who are making these crazy decisions based upon money and influence that is pouring into them. So the local level is the number one level, but yeah, driving. But great points. Fuck all these parties; they're not for us. Exactly. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Like, two-party systems need to be abolished. Exactly. And but then they did the Supreme Court ruled that Citizen United case where people can put unlimited. I don't know if it's unlimited, but like large amount of money into campaigns now, so that only like give the rich and powerful influence over government and who's able to run, who can afford to run, because it takes money to run. So it can be two parties. You can say, if they're not Democrat and Republicans, whatever they are, if it's only money going to these two parties, and all this money is flowing in from millionaires and billionaires to get influence over these two parties, of course you're going to get the same thing. They're paying money to some the same billionaires who are putting more money maybe into the Republicans, but they are paying the Democrats some money too, just in case. They have their just in case fund that they're giving to Democrats as well. It's not like they just giving all their money to Republicans. Don't be fooled. Like that Amheuser Bush thing that was going on, where they were all these Republicans was up in air that they wanted all Republicans to not buy any Amheuser Bush products anymore, because they had did a contract with a transgendered gingered person. So they were all up in the air about that. And then the Republicans, Donald Trump came out and said, well, don't be too hard on them. They given to Republicans, and 60% of the money that they give out, which is a large amount of money that they give out, 60% went to Republicans. 60% of what? 60% of the 100% of the money that they gave out went to Republicans. So therefore, that means what? 40% of their money went to Democrats. See, they always have a safety net trying to make sure that their interests are seen and met. So let's be clear. The GOP and the Dems are not equal. Have the Dems ever done everything I wanted to? Of course not. But you let the GOP get back in power, and you would see crazy for sure. Yeah, well, we're saying, but we're yeah, I understand that, but I definitely understand that. But see, we're seeing crazy for sure, and Biden is in the White House. I have not heard Biden come out and say anything about this Clarence Thomas situation. I have not heard Biden. It's like all of these what he's been in 3 years, all of these 3 years, I've never heard of an investigations taking so long. It's like, oh, it's time for investigations of shit that has been going on for 4 years, and all this corruption, all this money peddling, and all this influence, all of this uh illegal shit that went on and that was covered up. So we are still investigating this long, but where's the trial and the motherfucking verdicts at? See, that's what I want, some trials and verdicts, and I want motherfuckers to hang. But are they really going to hang? Because you look at is justice really justice, or is justice just for us? Because you look at that cop who mistook her taser for her gun and killed Dante Wright in Minneapolis. The bitch already out of jail. The bitch got 2 years. She spent 16 months in jail, and she got 6 months probation. She'll be off of probation by the end of the year. So is justice for us? The money needs to be taken out of politics. That would be a major step. You are definitely correct. Every person, every entity should be able to person, corporation, or whatever you have should be able to give a maximum amount. No corporation. These what do you call these uh I'm having a mind fart. These PACs, yes, these political PACs, yeah. See, money. They need to close these political PACs down because that's where a large portion of the money is made. And these political PACs are the ones who make, create ads and things for these campaigns, and they are under no type of stipulation about the money they can collect, bring in, and advertise. And so, yeah, that's another thing. These political PACs, but we got Supreme Court calling corporations people, so we know that's not going to happen. And that's my point. So they can sit up here and just be caught with their hand in the cookie jar, ruling on things before the court that they should recuse themselves from, and a governing set of rules and laws and ethics that they continually ignore, and there is no repercussion for them ignoring these rules, laws, standards. So why they just want to say they have rules and standards and shit, but if you're not going to go by them and there's no repercussion if you don't go by them, like, what is the point? Okay, I don't know who Eric Mays is. I haven't heard from him. I don't know who Ed Mays is. Yes, he just joined another police force an hour away. And see, they have that bill that's waiting to be signed on the in a House bill waiting to be signed, waiting to be heard in Congress to establish a federal police database for cops who have slain people on the job, and cops who have shot people on the job, abused people on the job, and everything. So there is a federal database that any hiring agency for police officers would have to go to before making a new hire. But they will not even hear that bill on the floor. That bill is forever taking a back seat because they want it this way. So, can you guys? I don't know who this guy is that you're talking about. You gotta chill. Eric Mays. I don't even know who that is. I'm gonna have to look him up. You gotta chill. You be putting me up on people. I don't even. I've never heard of Eric Mays. Maybe I have. I don't think I have. GOP and Dems are not the same. Dems are worse. The Dems voted to send billions to Nazi, voted no to Medicare for all, voted no to $15 an hour. I did the Democrats vote no to $15 an hour? Well, shit, most people are getting that anyway. What and see, that's another thing. What the coronavirus did was let you know that these corporations could pay you. People were asking for a living wage, and then when the coronavirus came, and then they wanted to open up again, and then they couldn't get people to run these fast food restaurants. You saw all these little fast food restaurants offering $15, $18 an hour all of a sudden. So they told you before the coronavirus that the economy wouldn't support a living wage. But then all of a sudden, Target and all of these different jobs and stuff start paying a living wage. See, like, it's a bunch of bullshit. What bill? That bill that Nazi came up with. Nazi, not Nazi. I'm saying Nazis. Oh, okay. Yeah, and let's look at all the money that they have sent over to Ukraine. all the money. But when you ask for, but you got a plethora of cities that are dealing with homelessness on a large basis. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money put into the homeless crisis. But it's so weird that the homeless crisis only gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, all the money that is put into the homeless crisis in Los Angeles, all that money goes to patting themselves on the back, holding big dinners, giving each other's applauses for the little mediocre fucking work they do with the homeless population. In fact, see, that seems to be like where all the money is going to for these fucking exorbitant salaries that these motherfuckers of all these homeless organizations get to fucking toot their own horn and to fucking schmooze with motherfucking politicians and all this type of shit and do mediocre work with the homeless population that is getting bigger and bigger. I remember when the homeless population in California used to be a couple of streets in downtown Los Angeles. Now, every city has a big, huge population of homeless people. And why are we like okay with that? Why are we as Americans okay with that? And then they want us to talk, have a bleeding heart about spreading democracy to other countries, other nations, and all this type of stuff. Like, why is this okay? Okay. Look him up on here. I'm going to definitely look him up. Okay. So, Eric Mays, he be cussing all those folks out. Eric Mays, is that the black dude from Memphis? If that's the black dude from Memphis, I think I do know who he is. Okay, so speaking of homelessness, one more story. Who heard about the homeless guy that they arrested for assault and battery for beating up a retired fire captain, I believe it was, in San Francisco? So it was a small story when it was a local story, and they had it on the news. He caught it on his mother's home surveillance camera. He had went to visit his mother, this retired fire captain. He seems to be like in his late 50s, early 60s. So his mother is surely a real old person. So, and then he released parts of the attack of his home video footage to the police so they could arrest and charge this homeless guy. But so when this homeless guy got a lawyer and then she got the whole thing of video, then what do you see that, and she got correspondent videos from other locations. What did you see that really happened in this motherfucking fight? What really happened was this fucking asshole retired fire chief in San Francisco, retired fire chief who obviously made a good living, lives well, and has a decent amount of retirement money. This motherfucker was across the street, saw the guy laying out there, walked directly from across the street directly to this guy, pulled out a big can of bear spray and sprayed this guy. He attacked the homeless person who was laying down in the street. The homeless guy got up and pulled his coat over his head for protection. And then they have another camera showing the homeless guy going to a trash can and then getting something out of the trash can and coming back and beating the shit out of this motherfucker, which he very well deserved. And not only that, they have another footage on a different day where somebody who appears to be this same fire captain happened to come up to another homeless person, directly walked to the homeless person with a can of bear spray, which looks like the same care, same body type, same build, same big ass belly, and sprayed another homeless person. And they said that this has been going on around the homeless population in a 4-block radius of where this motherfucker's mama lived. So now all of a sudden, oh well, they can't prove that it's him, and he said it's not him, and no, motherfucker, we got you spraying somebody else with motherfucking bear spray. But you guys want to sit up and act like all elite and this, that, and the other. But why don't you take your ass to the motherfucking city hall and demand something to be done about this homeless shit? But you want to fucking punish the everybody want to punish the least powerful, the most infringed people, while trying to, because it makes them feel like they better than everybody else. But when the hammer come down, motherfucker, you ain't got no motherfucking money anyway. These motherfucking rich people are playing with millionaires and billionaires and people who can get things done at a whim, all the way up into the Supreme Court. So while these motherfuckers are down here preying on each other, trying to make it seem like you better than anybody else, look at the tactics that you using against somebody who has absolutely nothing. But you ain't going towards the people who you fucking put in office. Anyway, did you guys hear about that? That story pissed me off. Tried to cover his face at one time because he knew the camera were in the area. Hey, Barry Carey, how you doing? Hey, Fedora, how you guys doing? Yeah, that's crazy. That's exactly what happened. So you have all of this type of stuff that is going on, and people are taking it out on you because you're black, on you because you're poor, on you because you're homeless, like this is your fault, while you got these motherfucking Supreme Court justices traveling, getting $500,000 worth of travel, not including the lodging, the food, and everything else that went along with one trip. But when are so okay, my whole point is, are we going to get mad about this type of stuff that's going on in the United States of America? Or are we just going to try to not look like the angry black people? And is there ever a time for a revolution in America? Is that are we going to have to really bring ourselves to this point to have some type of revolution in America? Hey, Miss Diva One. Hey, Duchess Kelly Love. How you doing? What do you guys think? Oh, you guys don't want to talk to me about no revolution. But I mean, I'm just saying, there has been many uprising against corrupt governments in other nations, and to say that we're not going to, I think it's just like really weird to me. It's really scary what's going on in our nation. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. And you don't know how to cook. How you frying chicken? Hey, Duchess, how you doing? How about you frying chicken? You mean Ken frying chicken? That's what it would take. But that's why it's going to take things getting so much worse for things to start to change. I worry it will be too late by then. I agree, Crazilla. I really, really agree. So, you know, yeah, that's what was on my mind today. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because it's definitely something that, like, if you really take a look at it, and if you really start to connect the dots about what's going on, it's kind of scary. It's really kind of scary to me. So I don't have anything else to add on this topic. So if you guys, I'm giving you a last chance to hit the link. No, can you hit the link and tell me about the shooting in Texas? I didn't hear about that. Oh, I guess you can't hit the link because you're cooking chicken. Hit the link, or somebody else. You can't be hitting the. You can't be cooking chicken and not able to hit the link if you in here typing, motherfucker. Anyway, so my daughter is so trifling. I just put the baby to sleep and then she came here and wake him up. Okay, hold on. Let's hear about the shooting in Texas. Hey, Duchess,
Hi.
how you doing?
I'm doing fine, girl. I'm frying some chicken shit.
You ain't cooking no chicken.
I am. I did my casserole the other day, so girl, I'm over here frying some chicken. But anyway, I just wanted to come up here real good because I can't be up here alone. But hey,
Uh,
chat, how y'all doing? But anyway, in Cleveland, Texas, so it was a guy outside in his yard, and he was like popping off rounds, just shooting his GUM. And the next door neighbors, they went out. I don't know who went out. Somebody, one of the parents went out and said, like, hey, we trying to sleep. It was right before 12 o'clock that night. And this happened last night. and we trying to sleep. Can you stop shooting off those rounds? Well, anyway, they went back in the house. Baby, he came to the door, went in the house, and shot up the family.
Oh my God. No, I did
And
not
it
hear
was
about that.
I think it was like five people were murdered. Five.
Wow. No, I did not hear about that. So, what persuasion were they?
I don't even know. I just read. I just read it on. It was on Yahoo News or whatever. And I heard about it early. Well, I read about it early, and I thought that was kind of crazy. You minding your business. Somebody out there shooting. Because they think they have the right to just be disturbing the peace and all that kind of shit, shooting up rounds and shit like that. And the neighbors just say, "Hey, we trying to sleep. Can you shut it down?" And baby, he came. I think he came in with an AR, one of those AR
Oh,
things. And I think the youngest was an 8-year-old child. I
oh
don't know
my
if it was
God.
a boy or girl, but yeah, five people in the house were murdered. And yeah, y'all can look at it on. Somebody could Google it. Cleveland, Texas shooting.
I'm the Google Pro, ain't I?
Girl, you are the Google queen, honey. Girl, you are the Google Google galore, honey. Child. I am,
Okay. They
but
found
yeah.
three kids who survived covered in blood, and they were being protected by two of the adults who were unalive. Thank God. That's just horrible.
So three. So
Three kids survived.
okay. So they was probably Mexican then.
Yeah, well, it could
All them
be.
people in the house.
It,
So
it, it could be.
no,
It could be. I ain't hating on them.
no.
Because the thing
Uh-uh.
about it is, shit. When they fucking disperse from the house, they are purchasing another house. See, what they doing is they fucking family is taking care of family. They looking out for each other until each other can do better. So they
Yeah.
not motherfucking throwing their 18-year-old out to motherfucking couch surf on his friends' house couches and all this type of stuff. They not fucking throwing their brothers out and to live in slums and they working together, saving up money, and then they going out and buying a house next to somebody who has a dog named Charlie Theodore.
Oh God, yes, honey. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, that was just.
But did
Oh,
you?
say Crazilla saw it. Okay,
Uh
so
huh.
I think Crazilla looked into it or whatever.
Yeah, she said that they found the three kids who survived. Uh,
Okay.
Now, did you hear about that? I think it was in North Carolina. That one guy who him and the neighbors got into a little tongue argument, and the guy went back in the house and bought out a gun, shot all three of them. They had a little kid, maybe like 4 or 5. The gun grazed him, but it didn't kill anybody. But then he immediately went on the run, shot the mother, father, and a bullet grazed the little kid. But he's finally turned himself in.
This crazy. I mean, these people with these GUNs, baby, are it's just getting out of hand. It really
Hmm.
is. It's not like you using a water pistol. I mean, a water gun. I mean, this is really can affect people's lives and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. The attitude that people have these days, they don't know how to mind their business sometimes. And then plus, they're just so enraged over the smallest things. It's ridiculous.
At least one child was unalive. Not sure how many in total, though.
That exactly what Crazola just said. People are unhinged
Hmm.
more and more so. Yeah, they just get enraged.
Because
Like,
you
are these
look
crack
at.
babies or something? I'm like, damn.
No, it's not about being crack babies. Look at how people have to live. Look at everything that's being taken away from American citizens. You got to work longer. You got to work harder for less money. And then you got everything else goes up except for your pay. And so they try to
And
keep you in a constant state of just unraveling, being on edge. How am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? Oh, I just got a raise, but then the electric company went up. This went up. They're paying. I got to pay more taxes and all this type of stuff. America is making sure that you stay poor,
mm,
in my opinion.
mm. So what's going to happen to like retirement? Social Security, is that still going to be available? Shit.
Well, what the Republicans want to do, that they have a lot of people who the leaders in the Republican House want to ease it out by saying that, oh, we're going to put Social Security up for review every 2 years, and to see if it's still viable, because they don't have enough money to keep it solvent. But so that's what they want to do: put it up for review every 2 years. Rick Scott, he wanted to abandon it altogether. They wanted like make you think, well, it would be better if you privatize Social Security, and make these old people go to a private insurance company, give you okay, the government will pay $2,000 for your insurance for the year, so go find an insurance company who will take you. Like, what is
Well, shit,
$2,000 to an old motherfucker?
I don't want my Social Security just to be part of my medical care. Shit, I want my Social Security so I can get me a nice little condo or whatever like that, and maybe sit back and travel a little bit. Shit, I worked all these goddamn years. Shit.
No.
Oh,
They are trying to get rid of Social Security because they're saying that it's insolvent and there's not enough money to keep it afloat. And that's another thing. They don't say what they're talking about doing with the Social Security cash
but
payments.
but they can send all this money
They
over here for these wars and stuff like that,
Yeah, all
and
got money for wars, but
build
can't feed
bombs
the poor.
and build warships and stuff like that. You know.
And
Oh,
oh, did you hear about this
oh.
story about the Pentagon? The Pentagon has failed their audits
You mean the
5 times in a row.
Pentagon or the Pentagon, girl?
Whatever.
Oh,
I speak fancy. The Pentagon. The
yeah.
Pentagon. You know what I was talking about. The Pentagon has failed their audit 5 times in a row, 5 years in a row. They failed their audit, and they were unable to tell you where 61% of the money that they bring in was being spent. Waste, fraud, and abuse. The Pentagon has hired out all these contractors who are getting paid these exorbitant amounts. And if we have a full functioning, working Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, why is the Pentagon hiring out these contractors and unable to tell you where 61% of their budget has gone? Their budget that they increase without any question every year, they are unable today to tell you where 61% of that money is being spent. They
Well,
don't know, they say.
I got a quick question. Are they taking care of the veterans?
The veterans, a lot of the veterans are homeless. There are a lot of veterans who are just getting
Oh,
out of the service, who are on food stamps, who are living in subsidized housing and veteran like group homes and stuff, until they can get themselves on their feet when they come out of the service.
oh shit!
See,
I was
but
thinking
they've
about
been
going. I want to go to the Navy. I was like, well, damn, I can get some veterans benefits if I go to the Navy or something like that. But
Please, they don't need
what?
no. They would not have you in the Navy because they cannot have no creaking bones in the motherfucking submarines when they fucking down there trying to be quiet for the Russians to find them, and you'll stand up and they hear all them bones cracking and creaking and shit, and
Shut your
then they'll
ass
be.
up. Anyway, well, yeah. Let me go back in here. I got to put the thermometer and check my oil, honey. While I'm cooking my chicken. But I just wanted to come through and say hi, girl. Hey.
Hey, thank you for dropping in,
All
and
right, I gave you a little bit. I came in and gave you a little news that you could use, girl.
yeah, you did, and you helped me remember that Pentagon story.
That what?
Pentagon story.
That what?
Pentagon story.
Girl.
That what? Pentagon story. Da-da-da.
Girl. Girl. Bye, y'all.
Bye, Duchess. Thanks for coming by.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, and that is the tactics to keep us divided and divided, and they are the ones who conquering us. Because if we get ourselves together, see, the war is not against the races and stuff. The war is against rich and poor. That is where the actual war is. So that is why they decked out doomsday. Yes, and they are scared of the populace uh to suddenly come to our senses and rise up. That is exactly right. The whole Hunger Games are being fought and waged against us right now. If I need you guys to take your time, and I need to you guys to Google these underground bunkers, new underground bunkers being built by a million American millionaires and billionaires. These are extravagant mansions that these rich elite people are building underground, which has the allegedly have the capacity to filter water for 20 and 30 years at a time, have all the wealth accoutrements down there for them to run and hide, and the landscape outside seems untarnished. You would never know that there are bunkers underneath these land masses. This is what the rich is doing with his money. You saw Elon Musk. You see Elon Musk is all doing all this rocket experimentation, trying to find a different planet. So their mission statement is it is to help other people be able to visit other planets. Okay, so who are these other people? So you sending other people up there for free? I remember his first mission, he charged everybody over $1 million to fly. Even the little young guy who was terminally ill, he still had to pay, and but he still had to pay. So are you trying to find a new world for everybody to explore a new world? Or are you trying to find a new world where the rich and elite can get away from how you fucked up the world that we living in now? But if you want to find a new world, how come you're not putting money into crafting a new world out of this fucked up world that we live in now? So how about that? For a new world, motherfucker. That motherfucker shot off that rocket the other day, and I was sitting here telling my husband, I was like, oh my God, I hope that motherfucker explode. I hope it don't fucking rise off the launch pad. I hope this, I hope that. And so it got off the launch pad. It flew, and they was taking their pictures, and they was taking their victory laps and stuff. And my husband had left for work, and then all of a sudden the motherfucker malfunctioned, and they blew the bitch up. And then my husband called me. He's just was laughing. I see your evil ass got your wish, huh? Just blowing money, just to light fire to money on some vanity projects and shit. And the world, the United States and the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and nobody is fucking checking this shit. They forever giving these rich people more tax breaks, and then talk about how they can't pay for seniors to have a decent place to live. You got all these elderly people living on the streets. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah. Okay. They need servants though on their new planet. It would be funny if they turned on each other and some are forced into servitude. Someone needs. I think I have a good person in mind who could write that script. Yeah, that would really be good. Yeah. That's a good idea. You always coming with a good idea, girl. Okay. Hey, Patrice Cunningham. What in fact also, even the underground bunker is going to be their graves while they're trying to do us in. Could be, but the contractors and the people who are constructing these things are making millions. They have so many orders for these things. They're planning our doomsday, and that they're going to escape because they have money and access and power. And this is what they're doing, planning their doomsday instead of trying to recoup the motherfucking. Everybody want, oh, America's the greatest country in the world, but they don't want to recoup that. They don't want to redesign the place where American people were thriving, where we had a healthy middle class, where we didn't have our streets and our towns and communities littered with poor people. Also, America is at a cusp of, in the next 20 years, of not being able to have enough workers to fill the workforce. So now you have undereducated Americans in the public schools, in the advancement of charter for pay schools and things like that. So the American worker is going to be unable to compete with what needs to be done here. You have so many decades of adults working in fast food industries that you have a class of worker who has never even worked. Fast food restaurants used to be where teenagers got their foothold into being able to work a job, knowing what working a job is, knowing how to handle money, knowing what it is to be show up, do your job, and all this type of stuff. So now they said there is a 20-year window where the United States is not going to have enough competent workers to fill their workforce. So that's another thing that's coming up. And I think that was by design too. And I think that is, they said some on the Republican Party used to always say that immigration should be based on quality, not quantity, so to say. Like they wanted more immigrants who had more to offer as far as educationally and skill wise. So I think that this is also a push in the direction to have a mass immigration of technical tech savvy workers, and to totally skew the immigration policy towards certain types of people to immigrate to the United States on top of us, instead of fixing the problems. United States is just like really gone backwards. It's crazy. So anybody else want to join me and add your 2 cents? Oh, robots. Wait. Robots, and it's getting something that is not good. They're displaying one about a week ago. Yeah, and that artificial intelligence and all that type of stuff. And people think, oh, have you been to this AI place? Have you been to that AI place? Like, no, I don't like to go to McDonald's where you have to order from a window, and you have to press your order in that little box thing and then go to the counter. No, I don't like that, because if I give that type of place too much play, only thing that is doing is eliminating jobs. So they have these stores in Europe where it's a whole setup convenience store. You go in the store, you pick out whatever you like. It's not one human being employee working in that store, and you pay, you get your shit, you go to the counter, you pay, and if you haven't paid, if you got something that you stole, the door won't open to let you out. No, I don't want to go to those type of places, because all that is, it's ensuring that the human worker is unimportant. So if the human worker is unimportant, where is the importance on my money? Why is my money important? And now, have you also got? There's another bank that is on the brink of failure. Oh, oh God, I forget the name of the bank. Okay, it's another small bank that is on the brink of failure, because over $100 billion has been taken out of the bank by its depositors within a short period of time. So my question is, why is it that the largest banks in America, like Chase, Bank of America, who do business with a lot of poor people who don't have any return on their savings and all of this, and these are the largest banks in America. However, why is it that millionaires and billionaires have so much money tucked away in small banks? What maybe we should take a clue. Why is, Chase, who fucking eats up all your money in fees and charges and stuff? So how is this small bank got over $100 billion taken out of the bank in such a short period of time that they're looking like this bank may fail pretty soon? So that's another question. That is just like a question that I have on my mind. So the average Joe isn't using this bank. These are millionaires and billionaires who's using this bank that's about to fail, that the U.S. government is going to have to Yes, girl. The U.S. government is going to have to make everyone who banks with them free and clear. Okay, they're going to have to respect their deposits and stuff. So it's just like everything. If you look at the shit that's really going on in the world around you, you should have some questions. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yes, it's time to gather them up. It's crazy out here. It's all a racket. And the largest bank, Chase, the largest banks got together the last time and rescued that bank that just failed a little while ago, last month. They got together and saved that bank. So, what is really going on? The first fully automated McDonald was recently opened in a place called White Settlement, Texas. See, I'm not, no, I don't support that. I do not support that at all. I use credit unions as well. Exactly. I use credit unions as well. It's time to barter and buy and sell amongst ourselves. Exactly. Exactly. It's time to like be a little bit more self-sufficient. It's really time to be a little, the way they manipulate the food shortages in the United States. 1 week you can't find any canned goods. You can't find Deanna Irvin brought up a good point, because I would tell my husband, get some garlic powder while you're out. And he kept coming home with garlic salt. And I was like, no, garlic powder. It's like I used crushed garlic, but then it's some things I like garlic powder for. And Deanna Irvin came up and said, oh, child, I couldn't find garlic powder for a while. And when I finally found it, I stocked up on it. And it's like, little simple things like this, how they manipulate food shortages and things. And I am a member of a garden channel where they show you from seed to harvest, how to plant, grow, take care of your different things that you want to grow in your garden. And it's in one video. They show you how to, and they, like 3 months, 3 weeks later, they'll come back and show you how the crop is doing. 6 weeks later, they'll tell you the crop is almost ready to harvest. And then they come back and harvest a crop. And then they show you how to preserve it, how to do this with it, that with it, or the other with it. So I watched the one on garlic. And this lady took the garlic, sliced it up, put it in her food dryer, and then she crumbled it up and made her own garlic powder, and like simple things like that. And it is a good channel. I'm gonna paste the link on my community wall. And the reason why I like this channel is because they grow all types of fruits and vegetables, and you only have to watch one video to learn how to grow your own thing. It's not like, oh, you got to find in another video what they're gonna do at harvest time. No, everything is in one video. They plant the watermelons, they seed the watermelons, they put them in the ground, and then they harvest them, whatever, and they grow everything. So I'm going to put that in my description box, because that is one of the things that has really been lost on us in the years, of how to even harvest our own food. Yeah, and it's an Asian lady. He's married to an Asian lady. You're right. It's funny that you say that, because his wife is an Asian lady. So I'm gonna, yes, definitely manipulating access to food. So girl, shush. Get you some gloves. Get you some garden. That's why they have gardening gloves, girl. And then it's like, if once you get into it, you look at all the different type of ways that people are building their gardens up off the ground, so they don't have to be on their hands and knees to garden. They have these raised bed gardens and things like that. It is like really is I think you should really take a look at it. Look at raised bed gardens. I mean, people are growing potatoes and everything else in gardens that they don't have to get on their hands and knees and all this type of stuff to do. Gardening is the new flower growing, girl, because I think that we really need to get in touch with how to make our own food and not be so dependent on this food manipulation that's going on around here. And you can go, Crazilla put you a wish list out because they sell gardening gloves at Dollar Tree. If a motherfucker can put a wish list out for oven mitts, you can put a wish list out for some garden gloves, girl. So that's all. I remember when COVID started, how they wouldn't even let people buy seeds some places. Exactly. These people are insane. And I buy a lot of yeast though. Didn't bake one loaf of bread. I have been scared to try baking bread. I'm like, I've never used yeast in anything I cook. So I don't like really understand the yeast thing. I've never used it. So I'm kind of intimidated by yeast because, yeah, yeast just sounds like a nasty word. Yeah, so I'm really intimidated and I'm really like, don't want to put it in anything. I tell you, yeah. Target and Sam Club, nice raised gardens. You can use them inside the house too. Naturally, Lux Diva, thank you for telling me about that because I don't have a Sam's Club near me. I usually go to Price Club, but I mean Costco, but I'm gonna check out Target for a raised bed, and they also show you how to make your own raised bed gardens, and it's really interesting. Like I think you guys need to check it out. Okay, let me see what else you guys have to say. Okay, you can buy seeds on food stamps, grow your own. So yeah, it's really time to grow your own. And a lot of you guys may not know that you can grow when you plant onions. You plant your onions and you cover it with either you can plant onions in a window box. You usually plant onions like at the end of the summer, and you can plant them in any like planter container where it's going to get drainage or whatever, and you can cover it with mulch or like straw, a hay, and then you just leave it for the whole winter. You don't have to mess with onions and stuff. And then after the first frost in the spring, you are gonna have some beautiful onions. So I'm definitely gonna put the link to this gardening channel in my description box, and I think that it would like help you guys to uh let you know that you can grow any type of food that you want to. And the thing about it, if more people grow their own food, then you can become the sellers or to other your neighbors, or you can give to your neighbors. And a lot of people who grow, they use what they can and they give excess to homeless shelters and things like that, or battered women shelters and things like that. You can also help other people by growing your own stuff, because you inevitably are going to have a overflow of anything that you grow. So that's it. That's all that I just wanted to talk to you guys about. um Walmart has grow lamps. Homestead Heart is the channel. Roddy Hugh, check them out. Okay, I'll check out. Is that it's oh, I've seen Homestead Heart. I definitely have seen Homestead Heart. And is that the black couple in Mississippi? But this is a white guy and he's married to an Asian guy that I'm gonna uh just like the vegetable man back in the 60s. Exactly. And you guys probably even go to those when they have those fruit markets, fruit stands, fresh vegetables at different during the summer at different places and stuff. Shit, if you want to, you can sell it. You can get somebody else to sell it for you or whatever. I mean, it's just like an abundance of self-sufficiency built into this. So that's about all I have. Oh, they're in Georgia. How they? Yes, okay. I know the Holiday Heart ones. Her husband is handsome too, and I'm like, God, he kind of fine though, and she looks like she is an older lady, but her husband is kind of cute though. But yes, I definitely know Holiday Heart, and there's another black couple who just started their homestead in Mississippi. But the one that really got their videos together is the link that I'm going to show you, where they plant everything from seed to harvest in one video that is not extremely long, where you get all the tips, information, how to mix your soil, what to put in your soil. You get all the pertinent information. So and check out Holiday Heart. They are also a good watch, and I'm gonna put the other Black couple and Holiday Heart on my community wall too as well. But the first one that I put on, I would definitely let you know that this is the target video that you may want to watch, and you may want to save. So if you decide to plant any or everything from wild berries to fruit trees to collard greens to everything. So, okay, I appreciate you guys for coming out. I think that's about it. I done ran my mouth about any and everything. You're waiting for your first. You can grow pineapples in the house too. While I'm waiting for my first pineapple to come out. Their stems are huge. I'm growing it in a large whiskey planted pot from Sam's Club. I buy the dirt from Home Depot. Yeah, I was surprised that you can actually grow pineapples from a just regular pineapple from the grocery store. Is that how you started your pineapple? Eggshells balance out the nitrates in the soil. So is coffee grounds. Exactly, they sure do. Thank you, Priscilla. I appreciate you coming up, and I am going to be waiting on your new production since you got that idea. So, if you guys please like the video on your way out, I'd appreciate it. And I really thank you all for coming up and joining the show with me. I just wanted to talk about some things that were, kind of important, and trying to see if anybody else, we're looking at things that's going on around them, and let's try to figure some things out about the world we're living in and what world we're leaving the children of the future, and what we can do to improve it and make it better. So thanks a lot. And like my grandparents on my father's side and my grandmother on my mother's side, they were big farmers and things, and they taught me a lot about growing things. And over the years, I've forgotten about these things. So I am reinvesting in my education of these things, because it has always been a part of our family makeup. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys, and give me about 5 or 10 minutes. I'll have those videos posted, those sites posted for you. And I hope you guys have the rest of your weekend goes well. And if you can hit the like button on your way out, my Cash App is $ Ronnie Q. If you enjoyed the content, I appreciate anything, especially the thumbs up. So maybe I can get in an algorithm of people who are like-minded as us, and we can just talk about things that matter, because this is time that matters. Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. See you around the streets.